On September 29th, it was officially reported by new court documents that Gunna has been dropped from any street-related acts in the original indictment and has 0 named witnesses. Gunna's been locked up for 140 days and has a 3rd attempt at bond very soon, as online lawyers already claimed Gunna has a 98% chance now at receiving bond. Meanwhile, Young Thug is trying to do anything he can, as when Gunna was first arrested on Monday, May 23rd, prosecutors in court claimed that he holds a command role among YSL, as Gunna appeared in court in Fulton County for a bond hearing. During the hearing, prosecutors spelled out why the rapper should remain behind bars until his trial began. Prosecutors paint him as a key member in the YSL organization, as journalist Jewel Wicker was present during the hearing and reported on the event via Twitter, stating, "A judge denied bond for Gunna and set his trial date for January 9th, 2023. She posted, "Prosecutors allege that YSL is a street team, not just a record label. They also allege Gunna serves in a command role." As in a follow-up tweet, she added, "Prosecutors said Gunna is a documented team member and that he and Williams direct their troops to commit acts." The judge said his biggest concern was witness tampering. Gunna's attorney can file for a renewed motion at bond at a later date. But with amazing lawyer work on Gunna's side, he actually beat the case so far, meaning he could be released from jail within the next week. However, after great news is released for Gunna, things got worse for Young Thug, as during the same court hearing when Gunna was told the great news, a lot of evidence was then stacked up against Young Thug, as it started with a new piece of evidence found inside of the YSL mansion, which will add years to Young Thug's prison sentence if found guilty. As the evidence report states, "In the name and behalf of the citizens of Georgia, do charge and accuse Duke, Yak Gotti, and Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug, with the offense of possession of a firearm for the said accused in the state of Georgia in the county of Fulton on the 9th day of May 2022 did unlawfully possess a firearm with a converter switch and extended mags." Now, what is known as a switch in many rappers' lyrics nowadays is a mod that you can attach to a single fire firearm. This then makes it fully auto, which in the United States is highly illegal. Inside of the YSL mansion, owned by Young Thug, was these exact items. Not to mention the countless amount of extended mags that was allegedly just laid out across the entire mansion. The court hearing then ends with prosecutors going after Young Thug for still being able to use social media, as a tweet was sent out on Young Thug's Twitter account stating, "I'm talking with my roommate and we're wondering if you could swim 100 miles from the middle of the ocean back to shore at Michael Phelps." Now, obviously, Young Thug did not tweet this himself, but ever since his arrest in the RICO case, Young Thug has been asking his managers over the jail phone to tweet out certain things to keep him relevant on social media. As this seemed like a very innocent tweet sent out by his manager, Young Thug's lawyer had to defend him very hard inside of the courtroom for this.
Williams is in a jail outside of Fulton County. There are 0 cell phones in that jail.
That last tweet that was sent out to Michael Phelps is recorded. It's been investigated by the sheriff of that county, and it was a conversation that's recorded between Mr. Williams and a member of his close friendships, that he asked the other person who has control of his Twitter account. That is not a reason to...
Well, this is part of the conversation, Mr. Steele, and you and others are going to need to have with your clients, because this is part of the state's concern. I mean,
that was an innocent. That's nothing bad. Asking somebody to tweet to Michael Phelps, "Can you swim 100 miles in the ocean?" That has nothing to do with intimidation. So I'd ask you, Rico.
Well, if I can communicate through a family member or somebody else, then I can communicate something else.
Everything okay?
Sorry.
Yep. Okay, your family was concerned that something was going on. You're fine, right?
Yes, I'm great.
Okay, cool.
At the end of the court hearing video, Young Thug's lawyer asked him if he was feeling okay, which in his reaction, he said he's still holding very strong, and he actually looks very excited and happy for Gunna to finally be released from jail. After Young Thug's lawyer was done defending him in the courtroom, prosecutors then raised concern to the judge that Young Thug has way too much access to his social media, even with him behind bars, as Young Thug should allegedly not be allowed to tweet anything on Twitter, as it just raises more issues for the court case. This has been an issue the entire YSL RICO case, as allegedly with Young Thug behind bars, he's still organizing crime and having crime started. An example of this is when the prosecution in the Young Thug RICO case announced they have proffer deals from members of YSL that are snitching on not only Young Thug, but other members of YSL. There was a few members in YSL that are out in the free world caught deleting evidence from the court case. As we saw No Jumper report, a YSL member was caught on an illegal cell phone trying to get someone on the outside to destroy evidence in the Young Thug RICO case. Now, as the YSL RICO case continues, sources claim to expect Young Thug's social medias to go silent very soon, as these same members that are snitching on Young Thug have allegedly also been getting targeted by YSL members in and out of jail. Allegedly, this relates to him using social media, as this was also mentioned at an earlier court hearing.
He's the one directing traffic. He is the one they're all afraid of. He's the one that's King Slime. He is the most dangerous of the 28, Judge. And I implore you not to grant him a bond. He is dangerous. If he gets a burner, Judge, and the court may know this, a lot of the communications that Mr. Williams is on FaceTime, because it's not traceable, it's not trackable. Judge, I will also say that we have taken proffers from fellow from Mr. Williams. Some are on this indictment, some are not. They have stated uniformly that Mr. Williams is dangerous. They are afraid of him, that if they cross him, he will them and their family. And they were very clear about that.
Concerns that this court has is danger to persons and to intimidate other witnesses and obstruct the administration of justice. So and for those reasons in the aggregate, I'm going to deny bond at this time.
So during the earlier court hearing, prosecutors revealed a few members of the 28 arrested are creating proffer deals with the feds, giving them information on evidence against Young Thug in exchange for a lesser prison sentence for themselves. And due to Young Thug's social media, fans that are really good and tech savvy ended up finding out who the YSL snitches were, as it was later revealed to be none other than Lil Woody, who has done work with not only Young Thug, but Lil Baby and Gunna. With that being a major conflict in the RICO case, it is nowhere near how serious this is, as it was announced Young Thug and his YSL associates are responsible for over 50 passings of rival street members with active instances of firearm use in the public. The Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis spoke with the local Atlanta News, adding the indictment reportedly includes allegations of 3 passings and dozens more. One passing has been identified as Donovan Thomas Jr., as Young Thug is accused of renting the 2014 Infiniti Q50 sedan from Hertz that was used in the Thomas passing. They add, Thomas's passing is extremely significant. Willis said, it occurred back in 2015. What myself and any law enforcement member can tell you is, as a result of the back and forth firearm use, many passings have occurred. There has probably been about 50 passings since 2015. This is from the back and forth between YSL and other street teams. Now, Young Thug is not accused of being the main person in these passings. The rapper's lawyer, Brian Steele, is pushing back on all claims against his client, stating, Mr. Williams has committed no violation of the law whatsoever. Steele told XXL in a statement, we will fight this case ethically and legally. Mr. Williams will be clear. Now, with the serious allegations of Young Thug and YSL being responsible for 50 passings, there's zero chance the YSL rapper receives bond, as the arresting officers at the scene of the YSL mansion raid allegedly mentioned to Young Thug he will never be free again. Now, as mentioned earlier, there's a few members snitching against Young Thug, as during the snitching, Young Thug's two best friends, Gunna and Lil Baby, were mentioned to the prosecutors. Luckily, Gunna beat the case for his part, but sadly, here's where Lil Baby gets involved. As caught on video, Lil Baby met with a governor candidate of Georgia named Stacey Abrams, as he wanted to learn more about state laws and regulations. It's been noted that Lil Baby has been meeting with many legal officials in Atlanta, meeting and introducing himself to be more known in his communities. This is happening as DJ Academics reported Lil Baby as well as members of 4PF are next up on the Atlanta DA's RICO list, with new paperwork being leaked in the Atlanta DA's office revealing very concerning information on 4PF and Lil Baby. Similar to how YSL and Young Thug were rated, Lil Baby should be next.
An in-depth investigation. Recent months you've had 2 high-profile racketeering cases. There are going to be more.
Over the next 60 days, you'll see 2 more.
Now, after this was broadcasted on the news, it didn't take long for Lil Baby's reaction to be released, as Lil Baby tweeted, "I'm trying to start an investment group for the young millionaires. We could run the world if we play it right." As someone replied, "Man, you better be looking out for that RICO everybody keeps talking about." With Lil Baby replying, "Only God can judge me." As 2 weeks later, reporters then caught up with Lil Baby outside of an airport.
How you doing, Lil Baby? Lil Baby. Lil Baby, how's Young Thug doing? I know
Give us
all the
some space,
circumstances. Just want to see how they holding up good? Sure. All right. Love what you're doing, man.
Now, with Young Thug showing his support for Gunna being released from jail, as he spoke about it during one of the hearing clips, where he says that he's feeling great, I'm very curious to know how he feels about Lil Baby. If you are too, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll make a follow-up video when that time comes. It's been District Trending, and I'm out. Peace.